Yes, Lord. Listen, I like to say, good morning, baby. I love you. I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay grounded. I want you to stay confident in the Lord. And you know, I'm talking about, ooh, sun coming up, the joints getting active. Lord Jesus, this is authentic nothing. And I tell you, I had a joint last night, try to run off with somebody else's credit card. Mm-mm-mm. Hidden in plain sight. That's the name of the title of this. Come on. Now, I'm finna read out of this here joint. Come on. It says, let my love seep into the inner recesses of your being. Do not close off any part of yourself from me. I know you hiding out. So do not try to present a cleaned up self to me. Wounds that you shut away from the light of my love will fester and become wormy. Secret sins that you hide from me, secret sins that you hide from me can split off the development and split off and develop lives of their own, controlling you without your realizing. Oh, who this joint going on? Open yourself fully to my transforming presence. Let my brilliant love light search out and destroy hidden fears. This process requires time alone with me as my love soaks into your innermost being. Enjoy my perfect love, which expels every trace of fear. Now, Psalms 139, semicolon 1 through 4, 23 through 24, and 1 John 4, semicolon 18. Now listen, that hidden in plain sight, I caught a revelation, you know. See, I didn't get to see it yet, but when I do take time, because I don't really watch too much TV, but when I do, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna check it out. But I already kind of can foresee it, you know, when I spoke on, you know, thinking about that movie that Mel Gibson and the other people put together, you know, it's like, did they not put in the part about what happens to us here in the US? You know, a lot of us suffer from situations that are out of our control because of the Constitution. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I'm not one of those people that'll say, you know, oh, I hate America and all this and that and the third, blah, blah, blah. No, that ain't what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is the Constitution represents a book of spells. They cast these things onto us beknownst to us. And most of the time it goes undetected and untraced, and makes a lot of people so that weren't aware. You know what I'm talking about? And what I mean by that is like hidden in plain sight. How that can be abused and be abusive towards adults and children. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a conviction and a kidnapping at once, because it takes away your free will. That's what God gave you. You know what I'm talking about? He said you are free because he saved us from slavery. You know what I'm talking about? So without knowledge, you are a slave to whatever anybody wants to put on you. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't know that thing and you mess around and get caught up by it, then all kind of things can happen to you while it's hidden in plain sight. Because see, people could be looking at you, thinking everything's okay. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Go on. Thinking that everything is okay. You know what I'm talking about? And not knowing that you being oppressed, not knowing that you being depressed because of the things that happened to you. You know what I'm talking about? And when it comes to the kid part, you know, I know that movie was talking about, you know, how they took kids and had them into sex trafficking and all kind of craziness, was killing them and all that stuff. That goes on under the nose of the people who run the Constitution, or are they a part of it? Is it hidden in plain sight? Because once a child gets separated from their biological and the Constitution is put upon them as a child, it runs wild and rampant on them. That's why a lot of kids in foster care end up with all kind of problems. And not only them, but the ones who are separated from one side or the other, they suffer. You know what I'm talking about? Because there could be lies told on one side and they end up winning. You see what I'm saying? And as they end up winning, it could be all kind of bad things happening in the environment of that child. You know what I'm talking about? The winner might be on drugs. The winner might sell them. The winner might abuse them. You know what I'm saying? Misuse them. But that's hidden in plain sight. See, we have to worry about that around the world, in every society. You know what I'm talking about? So that's why I bring up this situation of hidden in plain sight. This not just one thing. You know what I'm talking about? I got two other things. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that was one. And it came to me like, you know, how would I say it? There was a person who had their children, and because they couldn't get their way, they were abusive to them. You know what I'm talking about? To the point that they locked them up in the freezer after killing them. You know what I'm talking about? You know, and it was a bunch of stuff going on with that. not only that, it's just a bunch of just stuff that go hidden in plain sight that don't make the news. You know what I'm talking about? It don't make the media. And I think about that and I think about my situation. I like to talk about me. I don't like to put other people out like that. You know what I'm talking about? Because I feel more comfortable with speaking on my situation, but I have to break myself up out of that because whatever I can input might be able to save somebody else, might be able to bring some justice to somebody else. You know what I'm talking about? So, with that being said, you know, I'm doing this here series and I've been putting it together in my head, and I'm gonna be back later on, you know what I'm talking about, with not with this, but with some more, how we get it in. You know what I'm talking about? Steadfast in the word. But I was just putting this out here to make people aware or more aware of the things that's happening right up under our nose. We could be seeing a little kid that is a victim of this, but on the outside, it look normal because we figure in this society in America, it's how it's supposed to go. No. You know what I'm talking about? We have to change things, even for the adults, you know, because those that have gifts that know how to control them will make the ones that don't know how to control them try to talk about them and say that they crazy or something. You know what I'm talking about? I was listening to a story where they said that a person was talking to themselves, was walking down the street just talking to themselves. How they know they wasn't talking to God? You know what I'm talking about? Because I be talking to God. You know what I'm saying? And that part kind of hit me because yesterday God put me in front of that type of situation right at like a couple of hours after hearing that on a video. You know what I'm talking about? I went into the store. Before I went into the store, I went into another store and I was doing what I did there, you know what I'm saying? But before I got out the car or out the truck, I noticed somebody cutting up that was sitting on the curb. You know what I'm talking about? Now they was cutting up. So I said to myself, when I come back from out the store, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they need a couple of dollars or something, you know what I'm saying? Then, I'm working in my head, I'm analyzing the things, you know what I'm talking about? Like, if I give them this couple of dollars, they gonna go get some drugs or something, you know what I'm saying? And be even more out there. So I held back, came back out the first store, put my stuff in the truck, then I went to go towards the second store, and I noticed that the person was gone. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they all right, you know what I'm talking about? So I goes into that second store, and there they was inside of there. Now they inside of the store, cutting up. Not really cutting up, but they talking to themselves, you know what I'm saying? And ain't no telling if they talking to God and he hitting them. You see what I'm saying? Because he was in there working. You know what I'm talking about? So that means that he ain't crazy. You know what I'm talking about? See, we have to watch these things. You know what I'm saying? It's hidden in plain sight. He might be getting revelations and downloads, just can't understand it. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes it do be overwhelming. You know what I'm talking about? When he hitting you. That's when you have to have mastery and control of your emotions and your feelings in order to be able to cope with that. See, something might have happened to him in his childhood to where You know, things like that overwhelm him too much to the point to make people think that he's crazy. And he might have turned to drugs to try to cope with that. You know what I'm talking about? Because a lot of people do. You know what I'm talking about? Me, when I first started realizing something in my life was changing, you know what I'm talking about? Like really changing. This was about 15 years ago. I thought I was going crazy till I realized you ain't going crazy. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't it. God is talking to you. Then we got all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying, with man and the devil, all this electronic stuff, you know what I'm talking about? I was on a live chat, well, not a chat, but a live prayer session. It was a premiere. It wasn't live. But anyway, I was in that joint praying just like how I be doing, you know what I'm talking about? And I read one of the comments that came on there. He said that somebody was electronically shocking them. That nobody else in that joint paid them no attention. I saw it. And I prayed for them. You know what I'm talking about? They asked for prayers. Because if that was happening to me and I spoke out about it, I would expect or want somebody to pay attention to me. You know what I'm talking about? You see, because behind closed doors, it could be some torture going on because of the things that do happen. See, a lot of this stuff get swept up under the rug. Then now you got a dead body. Now you want to cry and all this, you know, when it could have been prevented, but it was hidden in plain sight because we didn't open our eyes when we saw it. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by hidden in plain sight. You know, what was it? I think it was in 2008. I was going over to one of my partner's house, and as soon as I pulled up on his block, I started cutting my music down because I knock it a little bit. And, I just started screaming. You know what I'm talking about? And as they were screaming, you know, it's like thinking like 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, it's a nice neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So shouldn't be nobody hollering and screaming. You know, it was other traffic coming around through there too. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't just me. So everybody else, they kept on going. Me, as I heard that hollering and screaming, I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? They blowing up the spot. You know what I'm talking about? So you know, I stopped and I seen somebody run out. They ran off, they ran to my car, you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, hey, you know what I'm talking about? It's 2 in the morning, don't be running, you know what I'm saying, running up on me, you know what I'm talking about? But they were getting beat on. And they had ran to another car. Them joints pulled off. Now, if I hadn't stopped, would they had died? You know what I'm talking about? See, that's what I be talking about, things hidden in plain sight. Not only that, I had another incident. I was in Milwaukee, minding my business. I had to stop because they said that my time limit, I just came from out of town. They said the time limit was up and I had to stop and wait some hours before I could go again. So now I'm on the side of the road because I couldn't make it to a truck stop. So I'm on the side of the road in the hood, you know what I'm talking about? So I'm sitting there, and I ended up getting a couple of hours back. on the time clock. So I'm like, I'm looking to see where the closest truck stop that I can go to, you know what I'm saying, so I can get some more time back and not be off in the hood like that without getting any violations. So as I'm looking, lo and behold, here come two young girls, you know what I'm talking about? And they like, can we ride? And I'm like, nah, you ain't getting in my truck, you know what I'm talking about? So I'm about to pull off. And one of them started crying, you know what I'm talking about? So I'm talking about bust down, wild out, about falling out, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, Lord, I think this was about 4 years ago. And some told me to let them get in the car, you know what I'm talking about? Let them get up in the truck. They got up in the truck and they bust down what was happening, you know what I'm talking about? Why they was in such a rush to try to get away from that area. Two older girls was pimping them out of trap house. You talking about? They had ran off from home thinking that they was grown, knowing what they was doing, and these two other people took advantage of them. That was hidden in plain sight. They had been missing for like 3, 4 months. You know what I'm talking about? They people looking for them and everything. And here they is in the land in my lap. You know what I'm talking about? See, things like this, and I ain't trying to take no kind of glory because all the glory belongs to God. You know what I'm talking about? He just uses who he uses. If I had not been sensitive enough to hear God say, help them, because it's been plenty of times where I just look at a joint and just roll off. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, I ain't got time for that because I'm busy worrying, doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm talking about? But if I had not have done that, would they have died? Would they have been taken somewhere else? And all kind of things since that incident happened has ran through my mind. Like, I don't got no contact with them, nothing. You know what I'm talking about? But the stuff ended up coming out on the news. You know what I'm talking about? The joints got arrested and all that carrying on. But I'm just like, Lord, why is this type of stuff hidden? Because this is a lively neighborhood. Ain't nobody else saying nothing about it. Ain't nobody, See, that's where good versus evil collide. In order to do good, you have to be open to receive the revelations that God be hitting you with. But see, the revelation that he hit me with at that particular time was to help them. But the thought in my mind when it first occurred was, I don't want nothing to do with this. But it takes a village, you know what I'm talking about? Or the devil will pillage. See, he was having his way until God put me where he put me at and started using me. Let God use you to uncover these things that's hidden in plain sight. You know what I'm talking about? Like, um, um, getting how he want me to say this, but a lot of people abuse their power and their authority. You know what I'm talking about? And they do that for their own personal gain. And we look at it like, man, I wish this. I ain't gonna say we, cause I don't. I'm good with how God got me. You know what I'm talking about? Cause I know He gonna get me even more. But a lot of people will look at that and be like, oh, I wish this and that and the third, blah blah blah, but don't know the consequences of their actions if they did do it like they did. You know what I'm talking about? Instead of letting God bless them how He wants to do it. You know what I'm talking about? We have to be open to receive our blessings from God and not go beyond Him. You know what I'm talking about? Because when we go beyond Him, that's where the trouble starts. And once it starts, it's hard to get out of it. And you look like they ain't got caught. You know what I'm talking about? But it's not that type of deal. You know what I'm talking about? See, what I say about walking in the dark and looking for the light, you see that light, you got to make sure it ain't neon lights. You got to make sure that it's a natural light. You know what I'm talking about? Because God is a natural light. You see them neon lights? Oh, come on in. Welcome. Look like Las Vegas. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, it's so glamorous. Let me go to this light. Get up over there and the joint cut off. Now you in the dark. Because you thought it was smart to just go with any old thing. You know what I'm talking about? That's when we have to be receptive of knowing right from wrong. You know what I'm talking about? Good versus evil, light versus dark. This is authentic or nothing. And like I said, I'm gonna be back on here later on. Get you some script out of old Bible Betty. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, Lord. Boy, that got too loud in here. This is authentic or nothing. But hidden in plain sight, it's a lot of things that's just hidden in plain sight that people need to be aware of and need to keep other people safe from. You know what I'm talking about? This is authentic or nothing. I'm gonna holler at y'all later on.